Let's take a look at some different drawcord mounting strategies for quilts. Here we've got two examples of end-mounted drawcords. So the drawcord is mounted right on the end of the system. In this case, we've got a horizontal chamber and an end-mounted drawcord. So when we cinch this, you will see that the tension applied by the drawcord up here compromises the loft in the whole chamber and really results in a dramatic taper down to the drawcord. Not only is this cord not going to seal well against your body, but this taper is going to be a cold spot. The fill is going to want to push back from that taper, and any fill that even is in there is going to have very little loft. So any end-mounted drawcord is not ideal. However, end-mounted on horizontal chamber is superior to end-mounted on a vertical chamber, which we have over here. So in this case, we've got vertical chambers coming up here to an end-mounted drawcord. And when we cinch this, we end up with the same sort of dimensions. We've got compromised loft here and then a severe taper down to the drawcord here, so all of this is a cold spot. But what's worse about a vertical chamber in this orientation is that through the night, as you move around and as you put tension on it, over the course of the night, this fill is going to want to move back down this vertical chamber as this taper starts to push it down further and further away. And what happens is eventually you end up with this gap in here where there is no fill. So vertical chambers with end mount drawcords end up with a really massive cold spot up here. Poor sealing against the drawcord, and then an even bigger cold spot over here. And the longer and the bigger those vertical chambers are, the more the fill is going to want to push down and away from this taper. Some of them that have really long chambers, might end up with big cold spots that are empty up here. A better situation is when the drawcord is offset such that it's not mounted here on the end, because on the end the tension is applying tension through both shells down the system. In this case, the cord is set back, so any tension we apply here sends tension down the outer shell but leaves the inner shell loose and lofty, such that we've got a nice and sealed draft collar and no tension on the inner shell here. So we can apply a tension and cinch this drawcord, and it's just going to push the fill in against your body without compromising any loft through the system.